Okay. Anyway, I won't do it. I was trying to put the flash on so I could actually see, but I have paint all over my hands. Anyway, last year, my friend John, his family's from Guam, and I went to high school with John, and I used to live on Guam. And anyway, John and Carmela had helped me out last year a lot. And so I asked John if I could paint a painting for Carmela. And he said that I could paint a tropical painting for her, that she liked tropical paintings. Well, and the universe is trying to distract me right now, and I don't really care because I don't care what happens to me anymore. So anyway, I painted this painting, and as I painted it, I was really unclear of what I was painting. And I know it wasn't the picture they were dreaming of, like some tropical painting. But this, as I was painting it, I went live on Facebook quite a few times as I painted this painting. And I said, okay, I'm painting some kind of hill and there's fire coming out, but it's not fire, it's something else. And it's hot. Hi, dummy. So anyway, it was Volcano. And I said, it's like going over and there's a man somewhere in here. This guy. Which you can't see him because I can't put flash on. Oh, there we go. So he's going up. Okay, then you have this tree, right? Okay, this tree is the valor. This tree is nature standing up. And there's the cross, right? So he's standing up for everything that man has done to him. He is within this volcano, and there are twins. There are two volcanoes, right? These are the twins. I was talking about twins, and I was like, there are two twins, and one of them's a boy, one's a girl. One's older though, and so these volcanoes, if you go back to Greek mythology or any of that stuff, the universe is its own existence, right? A volcano is like a human, only it's much more loving and much more patient, or it would erupt every day every time it got its feelings hurt. But it doesn't. That's where they're talking about the universe. Now, imagine that God was not a man, because he wasn't. He came through man. So imagine he was the trees, right? Imagine God was the trees and he came and he tried to show everyone how it worked, but it didn't quite work out the way he had hoped, because if he's the tree and then Noah built the ark, right? He sacrificed himself to show that Noah was not a good man, right? So he came through a man. It's not trickery, it's showing decency at its core. Now, if you believe for a second that nature, that everything that exists has a soul, everything makes sense. But we don't want to think that way because we find it hard to believe that we would eat an animal that had feelings. I mean, why would we do that? But we do that. We eat cows. When was the last time you saw a cow go cruising down the street, like attacking anybody? Seriously. But yet we pick them to eat for whatever reasons. So this tree would be God, right? If you have this tree that is God, then what would be Jesus? What do you think would be Jesus? I don't know. Maybe Jesus is the moon or the sun. right? And so how we treat his father is how he is treating his father, how his father is treating him. It is an example of what you do to me, I do to you. And it hasn't worked for us so far. It has not worked for us so far, unless it's kindness. And then even that backfires on us based upon our intention. So here you have a man, like a man shape, but it also looks like a penguin. So I have this guy over here. He's got like a witch's hat on though. And he's riding an animal, it's hard to see, up a hill. So, and then you have religion at the top of the volcano, and it's getting ready to erupt again. So, anyway, I said there were twins within this volcano. And then I was talking about how there was going to be, there's going to be a concert and people were going to die. And I said many. Now, the thing is, when this volcano erupted, it erupted over a concert. First, it erupted in Hawaii, then it erupted on a concert. But if a tree dies, that is a living being. That is a living energy that is dying, just like a human. We are not superior to nature. We are all created the same. Now, the thing is we tend to think because we're humans that we're superior, and we're really arrogant, and we're really a hot mess. I'm just not even gonna lie, we are a mess. So anyway, this painting tells a story. This painting tells a historical story. Every single dot on here means something to whomever is creating through me. I have an existence, a presence that lives within me. I don't know exactly why. I still don't know why. I just know they do. It's not in my mind. I'm not making this stuff up. This is really happening in my life. These are things that are very relevant in history. At some point in time, this will be very relevant. Now, these circles, I notice I do these circles a lot. Vincent van Gogh did these circles a lot. Now, things that have happened to historical people seem to be happening in my life too. And I don't know if the fact that I read about them is what is creating that. We become the energy we put our energy into. That's all I can figure, unless they are actual spirits that live through me, that are creating through me. Now, this person, I don't know who she looks like, but she had blue stars coming out of her eyes, and her nose had blue and green around it, and a yellow, and my nose has been watering since I painted it. And so I painted over it today. I'm like, please let my nose stop running. And over here we have a little dragon. It's hard to see him. Those are his eyes. He's got little wild hairs coming up. And this is his body. And there's this little snout. And then we have a bird forming here. But the hair is what she's changed so many times. She's been so many different things. She was the sea at first. It was a self-portrait. And the first time I painted her, someone died in the building. They fell from the roof. The second time I painted her, I even said the address of the person that on the street. And she had a blue nose, around her mouth and face. And the person died of carbon monoxide poisoning. The night I painted on her again. The next day is when it was late at night. I saw the paramedic trucks and stuff, and then read it in the news. But it's really trippy. And I went live and I said the address before it even happened. Based on 2 fire trucks that I'd seen. The numbers on the fire trucks were actually the address of the occurrence. So this stuff really happens. It's really happening in my life. I've had some people, one guy earlier this evening said, maybe you're just trying to make it make sense. And then he got really angry at me. He said, you're discrediting Stephen Hawking and all of these guys who have spent their whole lives working on this. And I'm like, I'm not discrediting. They actually validate my points, but I still know more than they do. I don't know the reiterated information that they teach in college, but I know what nature's showing me, which is the truth. Now, Stephen Hawking was able to calculate that my presence would teach it the way I'm teaching it, but that doesn't dismiss that I haven't spent my entire life working on this and my prior lives, and I was born in to have this ability based on what I had learned in my past lives, but it wasn't meant to be shared in my past lives. So that's the best I got. Now, the thing is people are going to try to disprove me and discredit me. And the reality is their way doesn't work. If their way worked, they'd be able to cure disease without medicine. They could cure disease with intention alone. They could clean their house and clean up garbage on the street and cure their mother of cancer. They could do things that would change everything. Those miraculous things that happen, those things happen based upon the intention of the loved ones of the person suffering. Now, you can ask God all day long, but if you're not giving to the rest of your family, like when my son was in a coma, I tried to remember that my daughter still needed attention from me, and my granddaughter still needed attention from me, and my pets, and my son. And I just kept going through as I would. Now, today I take a break. I was just like, oh my gosh, I need to rest for a little bit. And I don't know what's going to happen based on me resting for a little bit. I don't have a clue. I don't know what the universe is going to do. I just know I really deserved it. I deserved to rest for a few. So anyway, and I watched my granddaughter, and I, dropped my son off where I needed to go, and I still did things that I needed to do. But the reality is this is part of my life. This is part of my life that inspires me, but so does my family. And the universe knows that if I had $20 million right now, I'd probably not do this as much. And I would just focus on my family. But the reality is I like science. I don't like other people telling me what science is. I find it offensive. And I'm not trying to force you to only think my way, because your way is the way you need to think to get you to the place you need to be in your life. But my way is the way I need to think to figure out the theory if of everything. Now, if is free will. That's free will. And some people argue about free will. Well, if it's put in the Bible, it's put in there for a damn reason, because that book was written because it said people were dumb. And when I explain how the universe works to people that I do readings for, they understand it. They're like, that makes sense to me. And that's how it was intended. Even Stephen Hawking knew that. He knew he wouldn't be the one. He knew it would be someone that did not study this stuff, that they would just know for other reasons. And he was right. And that's why I think he was the most brilliant man. And so was Albert Einstein. But there's nobody else that I feel compelled to compare, like, information to, because, well, Steven Pinker, he knows a lot about the human mind. And Jonah Lehrer, he understands. But a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people want to argue. But you know what? They're not meant to understand. Because they want to know for the wrong reasons. So, looks like I'm wearing a face full of makeup. Almost the eyebrows. Souls. We got some eyebrows, sister. I'm not truly an artist. I'm just going to give you the heads up. Looks like I have crowns on my eyebrows. I know what the brush to use for this. Although this is pretty much how it looks like when I'm doing my eyebrows. So, okay. Yeah, how my eyebrows look. They're kind of a mess. So anyway, don't mind me. I used a ratchet brush, but my eyebrows tend to look like that most often. So anyway, that doesn't even look like me. She looks like a Muppet version of me. So, but the first one looked more like me. This one is looking like someone. This looks like a boy dressed like a girl. Don't know. But maybe I will come back as a boy who wants to be a girl, and that's totally okay with me. Whomever I am in each lifetime, I'm totally fine with it. Because quite honestly, whomever you are is a reflection of whom you truly are. So why not be them? So that's but anyway, the universe is always testing me.